Since Taiwan's domestic outbreak began last month, some Taiwanese companies have allowed people to work from home. Now, how common is that? Well, a recent survey of nearly 60,000 people by Yahoo Taiwan shows that 31% of companies have all employees go to work. 22% have employees take turns working from home. That's what RTI does. And 17% say employees are free to choose. That's pretty nice. While 6% have everyone working from home. Now, working from home is really new for most companies in Taiwan. Taiwan insider Staś Butler talked to some people to see how they're making it work.
Even
the softest lockdowns are tough. Restaurants are closed, streets deserted, and train stations almost empty. But a lot of offices are still open for business. That's a topic that's received coverage in a range of international media outlets. Most of them highlight a hierarchical workplace culture that's resistant to leaving employees unsupervised. You can get a sense of how the outbreak has affected people's lives by looking at COVID-19 community mobility reports from Google. The data shows that visits to retail and recreation venues are 59% lower than they were in January, when life in Taiwan was fairly normal. And visits to transit stations are down by even more, by 71%. But compare that to data for workplaces, and you see a much smaller drop, only 21%. So it looks like most companies aren't ready to fully work from home yet. But some companies are ahead of the game. I spoke to Amy Liao, a manager at leading design firm Paradise Design. They have over 50 employees, and all but 2 of them are working from home. She tells me how they made it work.
We make a plan, like how we release people batch by batch, and we check everyone's home equipment. We have this chart already, so we can see where people live, and we can see about their internet system.
Proper planning was something that also came up when I spoke to Connor Mitchell. He works for Swire Coca-Cola in Taoyuan.
So we've actually done 3 stints of working from home now. The first one was last year at sort of the first peak of COVID. Then a couple of months ago, there was a small outbreak around in Taoyuan.
So you're kind of giving it like these two trial runs, and it's kind of working out best. Would you say the best this third time round?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there are companies being really innovative with some of their technical solutions. Chen Yuchan, who works in international admissions at National Taiwan University, told me her office is using video calling space GatherTown to recreate their office environment.
It was like the second week that all our staff working from home. So one of my very talented colleagues kind of create our office like by the original decoration. So we can easily go to our seat every morning. And then our colleagues can know if we are available or not, or we are going to a meeting room, almost like the real office.
Has there been anything that you've thought, wow, this is actually working, this is working very well?
We are more willing to say hello, to bid our greetings to each other online.
What I have noticed is people definitely schedule a lot fewer meetings, but if we ever need to sort of discuss something, it actually becomes a very quick 15-minute sort of Skype or Microsoft Teams meeting, as opposed to sort of a whole hour where you get the entire team in to do a long discussion. I found in that sense it's actually become sort of much quicker.
Because when we were back in office, we kind of, we see each other, so we don't really know what you are doing. But after we have this online check-in rule or principle, we really know what they are doing.
I think the biggest positive I've noticed, especially last year, I think a lot of the middle management were actually very reticent about letting everyone work from home. And it was seen as a really big negative. I think in Taiwan, there is a culture of managing teams very closely and less of I'm just going to let you go off and do your thing. I know you'll get it done. Don't worry about it. So I think people learning that that can be done here is quite important, especially as I think in the future, it's not just something I think that people back in the UK want. I do think, talking to a lot of young people in the office, they love the amount of flexibility, and they're hoping that in the future, a couple of days a week, maybe it'll be possible to work from home. I think young people view it as a big positive that they've been able to do this kind of in a forced trial run that should in some ways help the work culture, I think, become a bit more in step with modern workplaces.
And what do you think is the key to making kind of working from home, work if you're a company? What are the things you need to do?
So basically, you need to make all your staff can communicate with each other. So a lot of apps or softwares.
I think it's just the will to try your best to be connected to people.
I'd say there's two sides. Firstly, you need your management to trust your younger, more junior staff. I think working from home becomes very inefficient if people are continually being sort of called into an online Skype meeting, and then it becomes sort of overload and you're doing even more meetings you would before. I think on the technical side, you need really stable sort of office servers, and you need really good connection to those office servers.
And the benefits aren't only professional.
What's been the biggest positive to come out of it?
Can I say that my work-life balance has improved?
For me, working from home means the flexibility to get things done to my timetable. Plus I get to spend more time with my flatmates and work on personal projects. And of course it's nice to have the option to take a mid-afternoon nap. The benefits are there for employers and employees alike. So for companies looking to start preparing for the future, there's no time like the present.